mixtures.
A little while back, you were saying 4 grams of carbs to 1 gram of protein. Was that after
Yes, that's for
exercise?
replacement. Yeah.
So after you exercise, you should kind of find that kind of ratio.
Yeah,
it's a ratio, not.
Yes,
okay.
Ratio. So you know what the best thing is?
What?
Chocolate milk.
Chocolate milk?
I've been doing it for a year and a half now, and this is a study that was done for soccer players that did not have diabetes. Oh, you just read that? Okay. So, I was up in Canada with some clinicians, they were talking about it a couple years ago. And the study says it was against sports drinks, and they said it's as good, maybe better. But, you know, and they up in Canada, listen, we use it all the time. And I said, well, why do you use it compared to it? It's as good or better. Why can't Gatorade be just as good? And they said, because the ratio of a serving of chocolate milk is 4 grams of carbs and 1 gram of protein. So it's the exact ratio you're looking for. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So I throw my chocolate milk in all the time.
So right after a practice or a game, have a chocolate milk.
Yep.
Not like an hour after.
No, well, we didn't talk about this. When's the ideal time after exercise to replace glycogen storage? Right away.
First 15 minutes.
Within the first 15 minutes. Sometimes you see within 30. Now, if you have a high blood sugar, deal with your high blood sugar. Get it down in a decent range before you start replacing glycogen storage. Even if it's going to go beyond this, whatever 15 minutes that we're talking about, get it into a decent range. If you, for the most part, put food on a high blood sugar and give insulin, you know, if there's no more exercise involved, my guess is you're probably going to go higher before you start coming down. So just deal with that high blood sugar first before you replace glycogen storage. For a separate basal rate, forget exercise right now.
Well, I mean, it's kind of simple. Part of the day you're sleeping, part of the day you're awake.
So what happens when you're sleeping a couple hours before you get up?
You wake up.
You release
Your body wakes up before you do.
Yes, what's it called?
Dawning.
Dawn phenomenon. So a lot of us have dawn phenomenon. So several hours before waking, there's a surge in hormones. These same hormones we talk about, that a lot of times why people wake up with high blood sugars. Very hard to knock down a dawn phenomenon on injections, Atlantis the night before. So based on this here, now my blood sugar goes up at 3 in the morning, all of a sudden it climbs, and now I'm at 250. What am I going to do to my pump? I'm going to increase it. So I'll take the temp basal and increase it, maybe 50%, maybe 10, whatever. You work with your healthcare team to find out what that is. When do I start increasing it? My blood sugar is now up at 3 in the morning. When do I increase it?
1 to 2 hours before.
1 or 2 hours before. All right? Easy to knock a dawn off just like that. If you have really high A1Cs and they find out through testing that you have a dawn phenomenon, I bet you'll drop, you know, half a point, maybe even a point, based on getting rid of that dawn that happens every night. At the current fitness level, if kind of the good thing about activity, your body starts to accommodate to the activity. So it's sort of like sport specific, you've heard of that, or exercise specific. So the same thing with diabetes. If your blood sugars are out of whack and you start a new activity, just becoming more fit or more used to that activity, you're probably, if low blood sugar is what's causing, you know, is a problem for you, you're probably going to have less severe, and probably the number will be less as you become more fit. All right, and the reason that is, or one of the reasons, is that your body actually, you know, when we say about replacing glycogen, so these cells actually become bigger, and you can now store more glycogen in there, and it becomes more efficient how it's released for exercise. So every once in a while I hear a doctor say, you know what, Susie's really bottoming out in soccer all the time. Let's forget soccer for this season and get her diabetes in order, and then we'll bring soccer back into it. That person doesn't understand the whole exercise part of it. The problem is if Susie did not do anything the season before soccer and now they get into it, all of a sudden these crazy numbers are happening. So yes, you make your adjustments and your troubleshooting, but just becoming more used to the sport, more fit, you're probably going to have less severe and less number of low blood sugars. Anybody on the continuous glucose monitoring here? Oh, good, a bunch of it. Very great. So let's talk about first the ones that are not on continuous monitors. If you're having a problem during the activity, I don't care whether it's high or low, but you're struggling with it. A technique is to check your blood sugar 1 hour before and then a half hour before. Why do I say that?
Trend.
So I'm comparing two numbers. What am I looking for? A trend. So if at an hour before I'm 150 and a half hour before I'm at 75, what do I think I want to do if I'm at 75 and I'm going to go exercise? I'm going to eat something. But you notice that I said an hour before and a half hour before, not right before? Because now I have 30 minutes to do something about it, whether it's a high or a low, right? Your kids are not going to hear, oh, I got to test more. But guess what? They're bottoming out during the activity to at least practice the strategy a little bit to find out what direction your blood sugar. Remember, when you test your blood sugar, it's a snapshot. But now at least you can compare two numbers. The next step is obviously a continuous monitor, which a lot of people have here. And I would not, as wearing a continuous monitor, get caught up on the number at all. I would look for the arrows and I would look for the trends. Right? Those are the two key things. And I think and it's better. I haven't worn the Medtronic only because I don't want to wear a competitor's device and get up here and talk about whether it's good or bad. But I've worn the Navigator. I wear the Dexcom right now, and I've actually worn the Navigator and the Dexcom at the same time, just to find out if I want to do it for 3 months, and I've got about 3 weeks. There's so much crap on it. This is another joke they're not going to hear. My kids, there's no lie. They all the stuff when they call me Ranger Rick. But I think they're great for trending and everything, and literally from 1 mile to the next, it's getting better from accuracy to staying on to waterproofing. That's why technology is so cool.